Chuck Fletcher this morning said that Coots was going to get a second opinion. That was this morning. Have you had an update on that yet, or is it too early?
I have not. No, I talked to Coots before he left. He'll give me. He's just going to give me a call when we get any type of information, and I'm sure I'll talk to the trainers when we do get that.
If he's out for a significant amount of time, what does that do to this team?
I don't know. I don't know what the team is. You know, I don't know who's going to play where. I mean, he's an important guy, but I'm not even thinking that way. You know, I'm going to wait to hear from him. We've had a couple of conversations. I'll talk with him, and then we'll go from there. But to start assessing if he's out, what happens, I can't tell you because I don't know what the team's going to be. There's nothing given here as far as where people are playing, who they're playing with. We haven't even used the pucks yet, so we'll get about it, and then we'll see where it all lands.
John, you made it clear this summer to the guys that this was going to be a tough camp, that you were going to work them hard. They had to be ready. This first day, obviously, was skating. How satisfied are you with their readiness?
Yeah, you know what? I'm really, as I told them in the morning meeting the other day, I was thrilled that everybody came in early. You know, they've been here since the first. Most of the veterans, some of the kids came in a little bit later, but and I think they've got some good work done together that way, and some camaraderie comes into it also. But you know, the first day, I don't know how many judgments I can make, but I know I was happy about. I think today is about just getting through some skates. It doesn't matter what you look like as long as you finish the skate. And we had no problem. I don't think anybody gave in as far as what we tried to go through today.
When we spoke with Chuck earlier, he said there could potentially be up to 10 players under the age of 25 on the roster this year. How important is it to have those young guys pushing those veterans for a spot?
Yeah, I'm going to play the kids. I'll tell you right now. It doesn't matter to me, stature, draft pick, whatever it may be, what you've done before. I think it's a situation. It's kind of a clean slate with me because I really don't know the players. I need to watch them, but I do feel as an organization right now, we need to get a foundation underneath us here. We need to get it back on the rails, and we need to get a good foundation of what our kids are. And so they're going to get every opportunity. I'm not going to be afraid to put them into situations that, you know, maybe it may bump another guy out that thought he was going to be there. I think it needs to be a little bit of merit here as far as where everybody stands.
John, Cam Atkinson said a lot about the skating is pushing through mentally and being able to play when you're tired. How much is the skating more about mental than it is physical?
Yeah, that's not, for me, it's not physical. For them, it is. I mean, you watch them, it has to be. And I get that, and I appreciate that. But for me, I'm watching the mental part of it. I think we've talked, I'm not sure how many guys I've talked to, but a lot of the camp here, there's, for me anyway, with especially with a new team, there are going to be mental and physical tests when they don't even know it's happening, you know. And but I was really happy about how the guys handled themselves today.
You just talked about nobody giving in.
Yeah.
How did you feel about some of those guys today? I saw you going to talk over a couple of them.
Yeah.
How were their spirits after, you know, being pushed so hard?
I thought real good. You know, they get to we've got great people in our game. You know, we've just got solid people, and you know, there's times where they just kind of group together, and they don't want to be broken. And the things we're trying to accomplish, especially with these skates, and there's going to be harder skates than today as we go through camp. It's not to pound our chest and just bury them. We want to test them, and it develops a camaraderie. It develops, they kind of look at you like, you're not going to get to me. And I think that's the attitude we're trying to develop, is a will. like I looked at Nick Delorier today. When we were probably 2 repetitions into the skate. And I went down to Shaw's. I said, shit, Shawzy, I'm not sure what's going to happen here with Nick. And I was serious. And I watched that guy, and he was ugly as hell. But he got through it. He never stopped. He finished to where he was supposed to finish. And I went to Nick after. I said, I hope some other guys saw that. I said, I don't care what it looks like, as long as the finish was there. And he came in the office after the skate, and we talked a little bit about it. Those are important little things. You know, it's not a goal. It's not an X and O or a great defensive zone coverage. It's just a little mental toughness that he showed. And I think that is something that people need to draw off of.
John, Kevin Hayes is a guy who's already had a big role in this team. If Sean's going to be out for a while, can you depend on him to play those first line minutes, those hard minutes on the power play, on the PK at 5-on-5? Is he a guy that you see being able to fill that pretty big role?
Yeah, I don't look at it that way as far as Sean being out, because I don't know if he is or not, you know, and I don't look at, I haven't penciled Sean in as the top center or Kevin. Kevin's a huge part. I'll put it to you that way. And in the conversations I've had with Kevin over the summer, I've told him that he's a huge part if we're going to get to where we want to be. And not only for himself, but for him to tell some of the other guys, follow me and do some of the things I'm doing. And I think that's the progression as a veteran player, as Kevin is, that I'm looking for. I've watched him from afar, and I've always, you know, you're always a coach when you're watching players, even if it's another team's player, and you say, you know what, there's more there, and you want to get that. That's what I'm looking for with Kevin. That's been our main conversation. Great guy, a great guy in the locker room, but I need to add some more responsibility to him, and I hope he can handle it.
He's working his way back from spine surgery. He participated in your conditioning today. Just based on your initial interactions with him, what is his mindset? What are your expectations for him?
Yeah, he's got a pretty funky injury there. It's only 2 people, him and Jack Eichel. And I think the big thing with Joel, for me, I don't know him. I've watched him from afar. In my mind, he's a pretty important guy for us, because I can think it can set me up a little bit as far as where the balance of the lines are. And I love his willingness. I mean, in watching him just, you know, last year when I was doing that ESPN stuff, or just watching him over his career, I love his willingness. We need to get him stronger. You know, he's still growing, but like I've told Chuck right from the get-go, as I've watched him play and I look at our lineup and you kind of project it a little bit, he's a pretty important guy as far as getting other pieces to the puzzle where there's some balance into it. So, you know, we keep our fingers crossed. It's going well with his rehab and all that. He won't participate in the scrimmage game tomorrow, but he's going to do everything else with us, the practicing, the skating, and whatever else comes their way.
John.
Going back to Sean Tortorella, I know he was one of the players that you met. If he does have to sit out for some time, I guess what were your impressions of him, and how do you want to keep him involved in the team?
Yeah, he's been a big piece to this here over the years, and but he's another guy that I was expecting more out of. And again, I know you guys have to go that route as far as him being out. I want to wait and see. Yeah. But Ryan Ellis, you know, Ryan Ellis is here. I want them around. I think as a coach, at least this coach, you're always concerned when there's guys that are out. Like Ryan's going to be out for a bit. You know, I don't think he'll be ready to go, but you don't want to ostracize him from the team, and I don't think he wants to be either. So, as a coach, you got to find an area where he can help out or be around us. But I also run a fine line, as I don't want a lot of injured players around the healthy guys. I'd like try to keep them separate. So those are situations as we cross them, we'll try to handle the best we can. But
John,
yes,
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No.
Anisimov, you've had the experience with him,
Yes.
obviously, and how much input did you have in bringing him here? What do you think he has going?
yeah, I didn't see him play last year. I had already in New York, a young guy, just a terrific man, family man now, a really intellectual player. He's very good positionally, can play up and down the lineup, can kill penalties, can play center, wing, good teammate. I don't know what he is right now. But when Chuck asked me about him, and Chuck did, we had conversations. I said, there's a lot there that interests me about him because of the versatility of him as a player in all positions, and he's an intelligent guy. So I don't know. I don't know where it all goes. It's a center iceman. Everybody's looking in this league for center iceman, and so why? Artie's kind of in the PTO world now. It's a tough spot for him, but I think there's some familiarity, and maybe that's why he wanted to come here. But I was interested when Chuck talked to me about it.
John, we talked to Chuck this morning, obviously, and he said that, he's obviously aware, the guys are obviously aware that there are a lot of skeptics about this team, but he's looking forward to, and the guys looking forward to proving everyone wrong. Is that kind of us against the world mentality? Is that something that you can use as a motivating factor for this team?
I don't know. And listen, no disrespect, but we shouldn't listen to the noise. We got enough stuff to worry about. And I don't take this in any offense, but there's enough things to worry about, especially as we start camp, to not even be concerned about that. And I get it. Listen, we make our own bed. I know it has to be. I know it has to go down that road. But you ask me, and again, it gets me. Yeah, and I'm not sure the word I'm looking for, but I do think, and I've talked to Chuck about this, we can't change your perception by me talking to you or the players talking to you. We can't change the perception of what you feel about us, okay? The only thing we can do is put our head down and work and change the perception by how we present ourselves. Forget about winning and the winning and losing. I just want us to present ourselves in a team that identifies with Philly. I've said that to you guys right from the get-go, because I think it's a city that is it's so easy to look at it and say, man, let's go that route and kind of intertwine ourselves with them. And the thing is, that's one of the things you can control as an athlete, is how hard you work. So why not go that route first? And then maybe it piggybacks and we find ways to win hockey games.
John, you faced this city as an opponent your whole career. What's it like getting to know them now, them being on your side?
Meaning
There's some of the fan base and some of the fans.
Yeah, I haven't really met a lot of people. I was with the organization with Valerie the other day, and I told them that when I drove over the bridge and I saw the city of Philly, I love coming to this building, because sometimes how great it was, it helps the home team, but sometimes it helps the away team even more. You come into a building that's alive. That's my hope, is that if we start doing the things we're supposed to do and act the way we're supposed to, and just put the time in as far as effort, that we get people back in here so we can get that type of atmosphere. And again, A before B. I know we want to look at a record and wins and losses and playoffs and crap like that, but I just want us to get on the right track as far as how we are as pros, and hopefully bring it into as a group and how we are as a team.
John, I've been speaking a bit with your old friend, Anthony Rodman.
Oh, God, yeah.
And he was explaining to me about the Hockey and House show that you used to have in Columbus. First off, are you planning on bringing that here to Philadelphia? And two,
Can I answer that, Joe?
Have you been in contact with the Philadelphia
we're-
in terms of rescues?
I'm not sure. I know my wife, our foundation, has had many conversations with a number of different organizations out here. But Joe, you want to explain it a little, Joe?
We're working on it.
Yeah. Yeah. We had that program was out there. We had thousands of dogs adopted, other animals also. So you're damn right. And my wife's goal is to piggyback with other teams and try to get it into that type of situation. And I know it's It's not the most important thing because we're starting an NHL camp, but it's important. And my wife and I, we want to stay involved in that. So we've been doing this now for a few weeks to try to get it going.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
John, in a few interviews this summer, you mentioned that in your conversations with Chuck and with people in the organization that you believe that this locker room was a bit splintered. I was hoping, number one, that you could kind of go into more clarity as to what you meant by that. And then number two, as head coach, how do you go about addressing that problem that you perceive exists?
Yeah, I guess I'll, and I do believe that, and this was asked of me the other day, I think, and it's not like I talked to players and was on a fact-finding mission about what's going on and do you like that guy and all that stuff. It's just the overall view that I got in all the conversations I had with players is that I think I think more accountabilities need to be brought in here, and I think the room's close. As I you talk to them, I think it's a good group of guys, and I think they like one another. But sometimes when a locker room, it's not always about friendship. It's about holding the other guy accountable too, and that's where I think it's a little haywire in that no one's really kind of done that. And it shouldn't be the coach all the time. I hope it isn't the coach. It's going to be me immediately right now in asking for that. But you don't win until the locker room, they put their hand up to the coach. We got this, and are we there? No. And we're going to try to be guidance counselors and try to guide them down that road. That's kind of what I'm talking about. It's not like I can't stand that guy over there. It's, I want more from him, and maybe he can push me. That's where I think that's where I think it needs to tighten up.
John, you just talked about playing younger guys. Chuck said earlier that you're one of those guys that can get a lot out of younger guys. Looking down the line a little bit, you guys are very thin at center.
Mhm.
A couple of the guys on the younger side are centers.
Yeah.
What does it mean to them that you're going to press them that they're now actually have an opportunity to get on this team now with all of them?
Yeah, I think it's something you have to ask them. I still don't know who they are. I've heard, Chuck and Flaresy and all the guys have kind of given me some information on these young guys. But I think they're going to have to they'll make the decision for me. I don't know how they feel about it. I do think they know that I'm going to give opportunity. Why wouldn't you? It is I think that's where we are as an organization right now. I have to give some younger guys a chance to help us build the foundation here. And then you go out and find that guy, that guy, that other teams want, that maybe he fits in here. We can't do that right now. We need to build it first. And that's where it comes with the youth. And the door's wide open. It's a 61-point team. So the door's wide open, and we're going to see who fills it. I have no idea who is going to, because I don't know who they are yet.
John, just as a follow, kind of to Charlie's question, when you got to Columbus, it was a similar situation where you kind of had to get that locker room to hold itself accountable. How long did it take into your tenure in Columbus before you felt they were to put their hands up and say, Coach, we got this?
Yeah, I don't know. And it was kind of a different situation because I kind of came in, I think I came in 8 games into the season, and then it wasn't my first camp, and it took some time. It took a couple of years. I think one of my biggest strengths is when you go through these tests and you go through the exhibition and you start your season and you see what people are, see who they are, see the willingness or lack of. I think I'm good at getting some of the stuff. Maybe that's not the right guy, and finding out that type of stuff, and that's how you kind of fill it in. Maybe we need to look by this guy. He just doesn't fit here, but that guy does, and that's how you kind of go about it. It's tough. It's tough to put a timeline on it, especially for me, because I just don't know who the players are yet. And I'm not gonna base my talk with you about who this guy is based on someone talking to me about, it. I want to see it. I want to see him with me. I want to see him, the interaction that he has with me as we go through situations. Good. Thank you, guys.